have to shift too much on the next. I thought, goddamn.
It's okay.
Feels
Sorry,
bad, man.
sorry, man. So we do see Circle
F in
Phase
chat.
2. It's gone a little bit down towards the east, southeast side of the map. What that is going to do is that I feel that is going to drive a few of these teams down toward the south side. Top Esports are looking in a decent position. They are holding the dead center. Team Queso, we know that they love to hold the edge of the circle. They always rotate towards the edge of the circle. They want to play super safe and just have a good vision of the teams around them.
That's the same kind of playstyle for Team Secret. They always play edge of the circle. That's what we saw when we were doing our VOD reviews. And it's going to be interesting to see these clash of different metas. And I was about to say, I got my thought back. There are so many teams coming to life from like Asia in general. And Asia meta is very focused on getting the center of the circle as soon as possible, so you don't have to shift too much on the next circle. And one thing, you have so many Asian teams. That's why you have a big cluster of teams in the dead center. All the Chinese teams are in the center almost, with a bunch of Indian teams. So that's going to be really interesting to see how this is going to work out on the long game. But still, no extra kills. As I say that, aim lock is going to be put down on the side of RG starting, going to be losing 2 members and not looking too good right now. And they're going to be clashing back.
It wasn't Outsider, it was Lucifer that couldn't make it. My humble apologies. Sorry, Outsider is here. As you do see, Outsider did get a return knockdown. So hopefully we can get a bit of an idea of how that engagement is going for these two teams. But it seems like it's been a somewhat of an even trade for now.
Well, we did lose 3 extra players. We were at 59, now we're down at 56. That is not looking good. We cast a curse Imperium. We were talking so well about RG Star team that now, unfortunately, they're not really going up to the level of play we were expecting. But let's hope that they can try and come back from that misadventure. And there's still, like, maybe a compound breach will be coming soon from Nova Monster Shield. And they are an official, like, Nova eSport team, just so you guys know.
One thing, though, the reason why Nova can't push onto that compound is because they're just not close enough right now. We see Team IND. The positive for them is that they are all in that one building, but the negative is all it's going to take is 1 or 2 nades being thrown in through the windows, and they are going to be heavily exposed. They're going to have to reposition super quickly. So if they recognize that, if Nova Monster Shield can get down for the rest of this team, but hopefully he'll be still providing that live support, live buff support to the rest of his team. We see Zute, as I said, had joined the team as Lucifer couldn't make it for this event. So hopefully with him still being alive, with the rest of other 2 members, that they'll be able to really pull out something strong as we are going to get into this next phase in the next minute or so.
Next phase coming up. And also, just so you guys know, we are actually in the 3rd-person view. So one really good thing about like compound protection is you do not have to give your location away. Just put yourself a little bit shifted against that window.
Final teams look to implement that 3rd-person advantage as RG and Omen Elite are coming closer together, but Team Top and Team Secret also getting close together.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful, though. The circle is closing up. But now, as we said, just a few seconds after, it's starting to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Purple Mood going to be clashing back and forth with Top Esports. But they does not quite have the angle. They did get a knockdown on Fireboy. He is in the compound. He's going to get region back up. He is good for the time being. It seemed like Purple Mood, they don't want to pick that fight. They were in the open. If they get 3-man party, that is the end of them. So just playing it really safe, I can respect that.
And all the while, we are seeing XQF starting to light up the kill feed right now, taking out a couple of members of Kurd squad. But yeah, Fireboy did manage to get revived. And that's really important, because if you can stay together as a 4-man squad for as long as possible, getting that revive, it's going to put you in a much stronger position going into the later parts of the game, going into Phase 4, Phase 5, Maxman.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and keep that in mind. Checking out a little bit what's going on.
Oh, is he going to come from behind?
Nah, seems like we're just chill. Oh, be careful. Xiaotian and AK, they are just prone. You just talked about snaking.
Yep.
It seems like Zute,
he has no
idea.
idea.
Have the information. He knows what's going on. He's just like, am I going to take the risk? Do I know his RG Star team? Do I know how many members there are? Can I pull off the 1v2 clutch? But he doesn't even know there are 2 members. Like, so you're going to have to be very careful. He does have the info. That's going to be a grenade. Out.
Oh! Great job, Kunev and Zute. You call him the Snake Whisperer. That's what I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him the Snake Whisperer.
Avoid fights, because at that point, just don't pick the fights. Aim for positioning points that are going to be way more complicated for all of these teams, as you have to try and focus back in. And Xiaotan, Lone Wolf, is just going to be trying to make his way back to maybe a good zone in the next circle, so he can actually try and avoid fights, because at that point, just don't pick the fights. Aim for position. trying to avoid fights because at that point just trying.
These teams a lot more that did come up from the south.
We're moving away from Paradise Resort, so now the number of compounds is going to be reduced again and again and again, making things a little bit more complicated for all of these teams as you have to try and focus back in. And Xiaotan, Lone Wolf, is just going to be trying to make his way back to maybe a good zone in the next circle, so he can actually try and avoid fights, because at that point, just don't pick the fights. Aim for positioning points that are going to be way more important for RG Star Team, as we do have a few shots fired by Team IND. Once again, playing in India in their own little cozy studio and shooting up to
Oh boy!
F, but, not really connecting too much.
I've got to say, he's using that tree to the best of his ability. We know how protective it can be, but it's also a small area, so when you peek from a tree, you do kind of slightly expose yourself a little bit more. But J7 from Pittsburgh Knights,
because utility, grenades, smokes are going to be so important for the last circles. You want to try and keep it up as long as possible.
Feed in this game one.
They are trying to get this started, boys and girls, as we're going to have a PLM. And once again, the Knights going to be trying to face up against each other in this compound. There's no really reason to fight it out. Just stay prone. If any teams try and come forward to the compound, defend it, but there's no reason to rush and use that utility this early on, because utility, grenades, smokes are going to be so important for the last circles. You want to try and keep it up as long as possible, as we're going to have one team out, and that's going to be Team IND in 14th position. That's going to be very unfortunate for them. So Team Tigers, last